Happy Thanksgiving 2022. Some of this and more on this episode of Brilliant Observations. Do, 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 do.
Oh my God and golly goodness, Melissa. How are you?
Isn't it amazing, my sweet Amy, that you discover things about yourself more and more as we age? I feel like we are so much less in touch with how we think and our processes. We just acted and did and assumed that we could or couldn't do certain things. And I only bring this up on a very special holiday episode because we had another episode.
One of the funniest conversations that we've ever had. Of course, it was one of the funniest.
In person,
yes,
on pod,
yes,
anywhere. It was lightning in a bottle.
It was joyous, and technology wins again.
Fucked up.
Right. So we're unable. So after many hours on my side and millions of hours on Melissa's side trying to cobble this back together, we're just accepting what is and moving forward. And we're going to cover that content at another time. It's a little new. It's a little soon. So we're not going to talk about that. It's a little soon.
It might be a little bit wild, but it will come back.
Circle back to it. But for now, this is recording part 5 for this one show. So,
right.
And
it's a brief one.
And aren't we grateful? Well, you were getting ready to. Did you want to wax rhapsodic about the things we learn about ourselves as we age, or you want to fly past that? It's up to you.
No, I'll finish just that thought because if I don't, it'll come back later. Again, something I learned about myself in aging. Some people are organized and prepared in different ways, and the way the editing program works, I really thought I could pull it off. And I am a visual human. I'm a visual human. I am attracted to, I am drawn to, I am organized by. Dear listener, I still write lists because it comforts me and I can see it all out in front of me and I can cross things off and I feel productive. And it's just a way of thought. I don't think I would have known that about myself in my 20s and 30s. Like that's just not an awareness I had. I am much more aware now, which kind of gives me limitations, and that might piss me off, but I get it. I get it now, and I'm content. It took you yelling at me once or twice to let that jumble of, well, I could put this in here.
Here's the part that I don't even understand. Editing is a visual process, the way that we edit. You look at the clips and move them. In our case, there is limited editing to be done. So in order to salvage, it was a professional. You know how some people cut together The Shining and made it did a trailer for The Shining, Stephen King, and made it a buddy movie about a dad and a son and how happy they were just by changing because the way it was like a massive cut. But you can get your head around the idea that 2.5 hours worth of content can be transformed any which way, and that's the yeoman's job that you had on your shoulders. Right down to the fact of it would be you setting up something and then having to cobble together the answer that came an hour and a half later. Like it was a very difficult edit. That said, it is a visual process because you're moving the audio files linearly in file segments that you can look at. So was it just that there were too many file segments unlabeled?
Yeah, that's it. There were so many file segments, but they were all unlabeled, right? So it just says Fugazi, recap 1. Well, all right. Well, I broke that down. This is like all inside baseball, but it was not. Here's the part where she talked about how 7 vibrators were lined up on. Like that was one step too far for me because I had to replay and go back. Where was the one that I had? And there was no visual space where I could move things that linked.
Well, speaking of vibrators, it's interesting to me that after all the gold that we had and then rehad about that same conversation that 5 hours at the cocktail table with 2 friends who I hadn't seen in too long, and all we talked about was extremely graphic and highly detailed and specific sex. So I will get, and I didn't even occur to me when we recorded that I missed one because one of the members of the table says, well, I mean, do you squirt? And and she said, okay, because that's the kind of relationship that was. He made me squirt every time. And I don't squirt with anybody else. And I was like, we're going to need another cocktail, please.
I'm going to tell you right now, that's the one word my daughter cannot hear.
It's pretty rough.
And that is the one word that I had embroidered on an LL Bean tote for her
so
to
gross.
take to college with her. And all of her friends are like, I love your squirt bag.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah, it's the really big boat tote. You know, the really big boat tote that says
The LL
squirt.
Bean, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Is that what your parents call you? Squirt?
Is that where they carry your squirt? Disgusting. And this is
Yes.
the part where we say 4 times over, we recorded the bumper that says, and if you're traveling for Thanksgiving and listening with a full car full of kids, maybe you should be
What's
aware
wrong
we're
with
going to
you?
be talking about sexual content. But I preempted it with my squirt talk, which maybe they think is a squirt gun, kids. Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it down. Put your headphones in because it's
Turn it
coming.
off.
Literally. Can you believe that? I thought this was the bastion of porn stars. I didn't realize that this was an everyday. I mean, I feel like there's maybe twice I can think in my life. Yeah, I feel like I've encountered that sensation, but it's not like that's the goal for Tuesday night. I mean, where do you land on this?
Well, I think some people say you're not squirting, you're peeing. And what is
Are
that
those
fluid?
people
if it's,
urologists or
if
or
it's
do
not
we-
urine? I don't know. I was just out to dinner with a urologist the other day. I really
Too
should have
late.
asked him.
That's right. Oh, and
I
he would
really
be.
should
I
have.
know that urologist. He would have been
Yes, you
happy,
do.
happy to tell you all about it.
That it's a
Whew.
squirt.
Anyway,
I mean, it's partially urban legend.
I perceive the act to be more like a physiological flip switch, a button response. When this is activated, the body takes over, and I don't see it as something that is withheld based on state of arousal or relaxation or going with the
Okay.
flow. I feel like
Having
it's a magic button that if you can get there with your corkscrew dick or whatever is happening in there, then all of a sudden, bing, 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 you win.
Okay, if that is true, and if that is fact, then why, when women are alone, does that not happen more? Because
think
women are
we're
much
alone
better.
now. Well, I feel like because it's all the way up in you and on the front, and it's like an apparatus involved sort of a thing. There is a sweet spot known as the G, and I feel like you got to get there. And it's something along
Yeah,
the
but
lines
women
of,
alone take care of themselves way better than oftentimes than with assistance. And you and I had a conversation about tools, and if there was a squirt tool, I'm pretty confident
maybe
it would
there's
be
a glut in the market, and this is something that we've just identified needs to be done. I don't, but I come back to I don't feel like that's the goal of every Tuesday night. So,
Right. I'm not cleaning that up Tuesday
for
night.
this
Wednesday
friend,
morning,
it
I got shit
was,
to
and
do.
it was one of these "Done Me Wrong" songs, recalling an old relationship that was more of a mind fuck than anything else. But she stuck around longer than she should, and against her own common sense, because the
He
body
made her
wants
squirt,
what the body wants. And I'm like, but
What?
okay. I mean,
I told you
I know it's good,
that's-
but it's like
I told you that's how I wound up with my husband.
you're awful.
It's because
You got to
he
clean that
had-
up.
It's because he had a car, a Volvo 70
Yeah, he did.
DS, whatever he had back in, I don't know, 1997. And he said, I mean, I went on a first date with him and he turned on my heated seat without me knowing. This is a story, you know.
I know this.
And my body got like warm. It got hot. And my brain was like, yeah, he's a really nice guy. Like maybe. And my body was like, fuck yes. Now, right now.
I gotta say, if all it takes is a little bit of warmth on the outer edges of your ass, topically, you're pretty easy lay. Because that's not sexual at all. That's just
I'm
temperature.
not here to argue with you. I'm not here to argue with you. You call it like you see it, and I live it like it happens. So I'm not here to argue with you.
I love it. I love it. Anyway, that was quite the conversation. And we'll revisit that another time. So rest assured, there's a whole lot more of sexual content coming your way, guys. Sorry or not
Shockingly,
sorry. Yeah. Anyway.
Shockingly, we went down a rabbit hole, and that is not a play on words with the rabbit vibrator we were discussing or your hole. The reason we did reconvene and not give you a best of, because we couldn't pick from all of the best
They're
ofs.
all the best, bitches. That's why.
They are all the best. So we came here today to just say thank you before Thanksgiving, to say thank you for not giving up on us, to say thank you for returning all the time. I want to thank Amy for being a banging partner. And I'm confident that Jessica, my former partner, will never listen to this. So it's easy for me to say, you're the best partner, because she won't hear it and I'm not offending anybody. The same way I tell both of my children they're my favorite.
You're ridiculous.
Well, they are on different days. They are both
You could
my
do that
favorite,
goofy
so
thing that the neighbors always do and say, she's my favorite daughter. She's my favorite son, because you only have a daughter and a son. So as long as you specify by gender, you can call them favorite in their faces. But the word favorite is creepy to me. But
it is when you're talking about your children.
When you're talking about anybody's children at that same cocktail table, they were saying things like, "Well, you're going home for Thanksgiving. Who are you going to see?" And they were like, "Now I remember who your family is. You've got this, that, and the other. Who's the favorite?" And I'm like, "What? That's not." And they're like, okay. And then in my family, well, who's the favorite? And who's the favorite of your kids? And who's the favorite in your next door, the hockey team? Who's the favorite?
Changes
I'm like,
daily.
I don't feel
Sometimes
like every
hourly.
family has a favorite in that way. And if they do, I don't feel like there's posters in the front yard so everyone knows. Like, it's kind of I was taken aback and didn't know what to say. Now you know. Well, and that's a curious segue, because maybe it's menopause, maybe it's menopause, right? I don't know what it is.
Maybelline?
I
Menopause?
have noticed, and I'm trying to become more aware of my tendency to not be nice. I have spent my whole life being kind, effortlessly kind, being genuinely, authentically, first thought, no other competing thought, kind, shockingly so that other people are like, what? And so that's the natural state. Then to a fault, when something doesn't deserve kindness, I will twist myself into, a nautical knot to make kindness the only answer, to slight myself because kindness must win. Like, so this is a whole lifetime. But now, I don't know if it's because the estrogen went away or if COVID came and stole the world from us. Or a combination, or who knows what. I'm just not kind. I don't go there automatically, or at least I've noticed now that I am not doing things the way that I used to do them. So I just want to be aware of kindness as a goal of mine. It's strange to think of something that was your go-to move, and now I think maybe it's like exercise, right? When you're an active athlete, you don't think of yourself as an exerciser, and then when you stop competing, you have to somehow maybe work it back in. Like, that's not the best analogy. I'm just saying it went away, and now it's weird to have to artificially bring something in to think about, how can I be? I'm just sitting here thinking of that same conversation with those same friends. And there were a couple of points now, because I'm so joyously reliving everything we talked about. I can think of one or two pointed things that I said to one friend in particular, and they were both to her. And that seems like I was being a dick. I didn't say anything like a dick, but it was the kind of thing that I'm thinking about now, and it's not characteristic. She had asked, was I being this way or was I being that way? And instead of just, softening it and listening, and the answer was yes, you are. And yes, you were. And so I said, yes, you are. And yes, you were. And everybody's like,
so honesty.
Everybody's
honesty
like, what?
is what got you in trouble again.
And I went, nope. Yep. That's what happened. And I mean, there was a different way to handle it, and it was total nothing burger. But it just sort of speaks to this larger idea of, when my kids are making me insane, I tell them with specificity. I have learned from my Parenting with Melissa class, right? This is how you're fucking this up specifically. And then I lay it out
very
for them
clear.
in exhaustive detail. As a matter of fact, I actually gave the friend a raft of shit alongside my own son, and I had to go back and apologize to the mom, and I was like, I'm sorry, I totally just stepped in and started yelling at your kid. I mean, I wasn't yelling, but I lectured your kid for the entire ride. I was taking him to a lacrosse event, and I lectured him for the entire ride there, and I said I shouldn't have done that. And she's laughing. She's like, oh no, he texted me about it. He texted me immediately about it. He thought it was
He told
hilarious.
on you?
No, he thought it was hilarious. And he said, see, that's a real mom. And I'm like, how did this work out where I dinged you? Where I was
I'm a hero here. I don't know how that happened. I called you to
when I
apologize
picked
for
him
being
up-
the villain.
When I picked him up, he was standing in his driveway, shuffling. Hands in pockets, gear on the driveway, shuffling, doing fucking nothing. My kid pops out of the car, and they're standing there talking. And his father is 9 steps away with a hand cart loaded up with a fucking washing machine that he's pushing uphill to the end of the driveway. Thank you for the
Both
gaping out
ways.
mouth. Thank you.
Help
And
your fucking
he's
father,
sweating
yeah.
and near stroke, and it's like
He's going to have a heart attack.
right, or
You
run
killed
the thing
him.
into the grass or roll over his foot. Some idiot thing is going to happen. So I stopped the car, started yelling at them, and I said, take that away from him. And now the dad is affronted, saying like, no, I got it. I'm a tough guy. I can do it. You know, so I'm yelling at everybody, which is like, you're just
Amy.
here to take them to lacrosse practice.
Amy.
Yes, ma'am.
Amy.
Yes, ma'am.
How could you have rewritten that story coming from kindness and love? You rolling up on the same situation, what would have been different for you? What would you have done differently? Because I have to tell you, in my life, I too am trying to say I love you more. I am trying to, like, I see a TikTok where a guy is giving out hundreds of dollars to anybody who's nice
Okay,
to him.
but where is he though? Because I'd like to be near that guy.
He's all over the place. He'll pull up to a fast food restaurant and be like, I have $6,000. I'd like to pay for all of the people behind me until you hit $6,000.
Dang.
Oh, what?
Happy lunch today.
So, and now I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm going to start eating fast food. Like, if this is a possibility. but how would you have done it differently?
Well,
That
I don't
would
think
not
that
have
that's-
you regretting it.
I don't regret that one.
Okay.
The lecturing of him is the way that I regret it. But I do not regret, in hindsight, communicating how important it is for them to be
Yeah, of course.
to be aware of anyone doing any task in their presence, and specifically when that person is older or younger or in any way physically different than you, right? That's when you need to pay double time attention. So
We learned this from your husband. Head on a swivel. Notice
pay
what's going on
attention,
around
right.
you.
So, and anyway,
Stop playing
so
pocket hockey.
here's how I probably would have improved that situation. Get there, turn the car off, get out of the car, walk over to the dad, put my hands on the hand cart. Now it's 2 adults. And then say, guys, what do you, and they would come over. So now it's clear we're all going to help. This neighborhood
Right, you
is going
both
to
modeled
help.
it, and you.
That
I'm
would have
more of a
been
trash
better. That
talker
would have
than a
been better.
modeling
as
behavior.
opposed to
though, so
me, rolling down and pointing my finger at the kid whose father it is, and then driving him for 18 minutes straight, telling him, "Here's the point that I'm trying to make," and the point that I was quite specifically making to them, loud and clear,
yeah,
was that you should not ever have to be asked. You should do. You should do it. You should step up and step in. Don't wait for someone to say, come and help me. When you see the job that needs doing, do it. When you stumble upon a job that you that know how to do it. Even if somebody else shows up later and sees it done, that's a good thing. That's good karma in the world. Just fucking do it. Sweep the floor. It's not my job to sweep the floor. Okay, the floor's dirty. There's a broom. Fucking sweep it. There's trash on the ground. Pick it up. Like, there's simple. We don't have to have ownership over all jobs to be contributors to this, to the good of the world.
I would like you to spend 18 minutes in the car with my children. I would like you to become
she's a real mom.
I would like you to become a bus driver. Can you leave behind all career moves and life goals and become a bus driver? Yeah. And parents, that's not a bad lesson for you to teach your children. And if you do, follow all the rules and regulations of Brilliant Observations led to you by Fugazi, you too will be as thankful next year, as we are this year, as well as that mother who's like, thank you for parenting my son and not just backhanding him, which is what I would have done. Snap out of it.
Oh my God. There's just I still am a kind person. That doesn't go away. But the fundamental biological shift in my makeup is really weird to navigate. So much so that I am embarking on a renewed interest in tighten myself up, put on a little lipstick, do the thing. I'm looking at, I don't know if my face looks a little glowy and weird. The lighting in here is very weird right now, but I'm coming to you fresh from a facial and a massage. I'm doing it. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna go back to treating myself right. But theoretically, that's what I'm gonna do.
Theoretically. We made a really good point on that trash podcast of when talking about masturbation. That is also self-care. You can be a better human. We're going to treat this like it's the new year. You can be a better human after Thanksgiving in the new year if you take better care of yourself. Self-care is beautiful, and it's not meant in mockery, and it's not meant in I don't know, anything else bizarre.
Well, it's just a weird concept for me to really understand, and I'm still learning it. The phrase itself troubles me. Self-care, self-love.
Why is that troubling?
Because I love myself, and I care for myself, and I take care of myself. But the notion of self-care is a categorically different thing. It's been defined for me prior to me adopting it in my life. So there's always this stumbling block that I'm not fucking, I don't need self-love, right? That's just ridiculous. There is a hang up on,
Why do you say that?
Because it just conjures up images of inauthentic, overly performative, super indulgent social media influencers who are hanging their hat on a trend, right? So this notion of self-care, getting a facial doesn't feel like I'm just trying to say, why is it weird for me and how does it not get defined properly?
The concept is beautiful and important. The movement to do so is cheesy.
Yes,
but that
I'm holding my Starbucks
away
today, taking a picture of it and putting it out on social media, and I hashtag self-care. And on one
that's
level,
the cheesy part. But it is important for you to have sustenance. It is important for you to have energy. It is important for you to have peace. And if the things like facials, Starbucks, Chick-fil-A ice, Sonic ice, wherever your local pellet ice joy comes from, if that is part of it, you are a better person. You are better able to be the best you. I maybe could have handled editing that fucking nightmare better if I had eaten breakfast.
Stop that.
So
my point is self-care as a phrase I can't get behind. Self-care as a mindset, an act, a lifetime.
Concept.
I'm all in.
Okay, fair.
I just need to call it something else because I
then
can't.
Do it.
And to the point where people say self-love, it doesn't even mean anything to me until I came to understand it completely outside of those two words together. So it's I don't know.
Whatever you need to do to
it.
reconfigure it in your head to make sure you are getting it. I don't care what you call it. That's fine. I don't care if you call it
to me,
me time. Like, all right, whatever.
There's something, I think part of the hang up that I have on both of those is because in some small way, to me, they appear to be trying to destigmatize the idea of indulging in pleasure for oneself. And those three things are very loaded. And so where I break it down is feeling pleasure is A-okay and to be done all the time as frequently as possible, and everyone deserves it. Everyone deserves joy. I am on board with this concept that everyone deserves pleasure, period. And the more pleasure that you can get in your life, the better you will contribute to the pleasure and joy of others. It's just the way it works.
Yep.
Okay?
Period.
So to me, if that is what self-care means, I'm in. But the notion that pleasure is an indulgence, now we got a fucking problem. The idea that self-care on some linguistic level in my brain means that I'm prioritizing me over many other people and many other responsibilities, and where does my pleasure fall? And I have so it's just all complicated. So
you're going down a rabbit hole.
Well, that's what happens. That's how words work.
You are so far outside of taking care of yourself. you are worried about a line that you're drawing between taking too good a care of yourself that you're
No.
neglecting other things. You're not even between the white lines on the highway.
You are correct.
You're,
I'm not,
so
but I'm also
for
not
you to be worried
No,
about
I'm
not only getting between the lines, but getting on the other side of the lines is ridiculous.
I'm
Why
not
don't
saying
you just
I'm not saying I'm worried about it. I'm saying that probably what contributed to me not doing it for so long and still on some level not really understanding or getting it as a natural habit. We all have inclination. You are the kind of person that you are. And I'm still trying to figure out this quotes self-care thing, right? This quote self-love thing. I love myself. I'm fucking great. I have a huge ego. We all know this, right? I love it.
I have
love
a
it.
huge ego.
It's fantastic. But the words get in the way, and I just want to come back to that fucking genius round table of the coffee or cocktails that I had with my two friends, because one of them, when I was rolling talking about some other thing, she started laughing. The two of them were laughing at me, and I was like, "What you laughing at?" Right? Because I was saying something really specific and serious. Blah, 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 blah. And the one looks over at the other, and she goes, "I just love it because you don't even have to say anything." Amy argues with herself, and she covers both sides. Talks herself in and talks herself out. I'm like, okay, that's a problem. I like it.
By the way, did you see the full bottle of wine I just drank? So fuck off.
Anyway.
Again, the point of gathering today was not to tell you how we suck, because we could spend hours on that. In fact, we do. But it is to say thank you and wish you guys a beautiful Thanksgiving. I hope you don't see the family you don't want to see, that you spend time with your nearest and dearest and your loved ones, and that the mashed potatoes are made exactly to your liking.
I agree 1,000% with everything you've said. And I would like to also add that for our many listeners who do not even celebrate Thanksgiving, please use this week as an opportunity to do what hopefully most of us are doing in the United States. And that's just taking a moment, looking around, and feeling joy for all of the bounty and richness that is your life right now. Whatever's happening in this second is so transformatively excellent when you just think about it. The fact that you're alive and breathing, eyes open, ears to listen, music and food, and maybe a job, and maybe a place to sleep, and probably headphones to listen to this content that's flowing at you, and lots of others, and friends, and love, and sunrises, and all good fluffy slippers, and all the craziness in this world to list. Just do a quick inventory in your head of how much richness you experience every day and how delightful, profoundly delightful that is. It's you can't help but be overwhelmed with gratefulness for the kind of life that you lead. And that's how I feel every day. And I have lost some of it in my day-to-day shuffle. And I want to make sure that just the pie-eyed bliss of moving through this world with everything that I get to do and see and have and be, that is the state that I want to be in more often and not have it slip away. So
lead with love and gratitude. We love it. We love it. And we are trying, we are broken humans, and we are trying desperately to come back to leading with love and kindness.
now you know.
Okay, I just have a last thought after we talked about how grateful we are. It wouldn't be our show, my sweet Amy, if I did not ask you a potentially filthy, provocative
Bring
question.
it on.
Okay. Welcome to Brilliant Observations. All the gratitude and joy we just shared is symbolic of what we'd like to become. What happens after this moment is really what we are. Amy,
Yes, ma'am.
I saw TikTok where
Did you
these
now?
yeah, shocker. These two people asked each other questions, and the question that had me at hello was,
Yes.
is there a celebrity that you would have sex with,
Okay.
but then keep it a secret because you're too embarrassed to share that you had sex with that celebrity?
What? So I'm
I'll
gonna
do it again.
I'm gonna have sex. I get to have sex with a
Do
celebrity.
you have a secret kink that you can share with us from the celebrity world? Is there someone with whom you would totally have sex, but then never tell anyone because I don't need everybody knowing that. And I'll give you an example because
Okay,
the
'cause
guy, it was a woman asking a man. They did it both ways. And she didn't answer. He did. He said Whoopi Goldberg.
What? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do you mean Whoopi Goldberg?
I did say, what did I say?
That's not right. I'm trying to
No,
clarify
but that's what he
because
said.
this doesn't make any sense.
But think about it.
Why?
Think
I don't
about
wanna
that
think
with the
about sex
question.
with Whoopi Goldberg.
But
maybe.
he did. And he didn't want
Ooh.
anybody to know. Is there anyone?
I mean, let's just take a full pause and say, love you, Whoop. Think you're great. Not interested in that from you. I like other things.
Yeah, I don't want it
from you.
either, but I
don't
get
want
it.
that.
Like I'm looking at her roster. I see who's passed through her boudoir. So I think, oh,
Actually, now that you say it though, wait a minute. So you have sex with Whoopi Goldberg and you
Yes.
presume she likes it, right? So
yes.
I mean, you presume that it was everybody's happy with this arrangement, and it's not like
it went well.
she lost
right.
a bet and has to do celebrity sex with TikTok, right? So, because that would really suck. She's like, I gotta
That's
fuck
gonna
this
be
guy now. Yeah,
That's our next episode.
No.
So you lost a bet.
but well, you don't know if she's gonna be bragging about it. Like, is the confidentiality both ways? But my point is not about that. My point is, if it is kind of weird,
Yeah.
wouldn't you want to say, I banged Whoopi Goldberg? Like, is that the one, like, hey, Jerry, I want a contest? Do you know, is that like the thing that you,
Like
it
that
turns
you're
out to
still
be the one
master?
story that you do want to tell? I don't know. Who's your, what do we call this? Who's your no-tell bang?
That's excellent. We're so grateful. And the no-tell bang. All this and more. Yeah.
Oh, who do you want to
Well,
kissy, no-tell?
I have always had a thing for Eric Stoltz, right?
Yes.
And now, I mean, age, and when I used to tell people that, oh, I have a huge crush on Eric Stoltz, their answer was, do you mean Rocky Dennis from Mask?
Wait,
That
wait.
kid?
No one ever said this to you. No one in
Yeah.
a million
Oh, yeah,
years.
yeah.
No one in a million
Yeah.
years ever said to you, do you mean Rocky Dennis from Mask? No one in their right mind, even after watching the credits of the movie they just watched called Mask, knew his fucking name was Roddy Dennis. What'd you say? I don't even can't remember it now. Nobody knows his fucking name. That's
It's
just because
Rocky
you're in
Dennis.
love with him. Rocky. You mean Rocky? No, I mean Dennis. You mean Dennis? No, I mean
You mean
Rocky
that
Dennis.
fucked up kid from
Oh,
Mask?
you mean Eric Stoltz with the thing on the thing? Look-alike? Yes, that's the one I mean.
I
Nobody
didn't
calls him-
lead with Rocky Dennis. I led with
You
Eric
could have
Stoltz.
got
and-
there. You could have got there quicker if you said Cher was his mom. Like, there's so much more about that movie that people remember than his name. This is called "You in Love with the Ginger," and that's all you see. Okay, you
I had
got
a huge
you
crush.
got
Huge.
the ginger snaps. You gotta watch it.
And
Oh!
everybody knew it. And everybody, Ginger Snap. And everybody knew it because I did on the night of my bachelorette party walk around Manhattan with an enormous blow-up doll with a Xerox picture of his face taped onto the blow-up
I
doll.
remember it well.
So oh my God, and yay! So yeah, that was my. But if I told people, they're like, so I stopped mentioning that. I'm like, hey, some kind of wonderful. Don't forget that.
I don't feel like he counts. I feel like he's a decent lay. That's the wrong way to say it. Good for you, Eric. I feel like he's a respectable partner. I don't see
I
why
think
this.
Whoopi Goldberg is a respectable partner
Nope,
too.
I'm going to push back on you there. I don't. How
Why?
many? Because she doesn't have sex appeal is not in her toolkit. She doesn't lead with it. She doesn't talk about it. She goes out of her way to say, I'm done with all that shit. I did it when I was 18. I
Okay,
don't do
that's
it
fair.
now. Eric is like, how can I get another job? Is it the secret celebrity no-tell bang? I'm in. The no-tell hotel bang? For
Dear
ballers.
listener, if you see a resurgence of his career,
I'm just
it
trying
is
to say.
because of this episode.
Whoopi is an acquired taste, and she would be the first one to sit on the sofa with like a silver-topped cane and a martini and look across at you and go, "Girl, I wouldn't bang me." Like she
I
doesn't
love
have
the
any
picture you
problem.
just drew.
She doesn't have any problem with what I'm saying about her. She sort of gets it.
So do you have one?
Well, I don't know who I would hide if I'm gonna do it. Like I've got to think about somebody that I would not want others to think I desired. That's where it is. It's about
Here's a good
hidden
example. Ready?
desire. Yes, go.
Here's a good example. What about Steve Buscemi?
Oh, ew. Oh, God. Yeah, but you'd fuck him, though.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, you would. Yo, don't give me that.
I don't know.
Steve is at the party. Everybody's
Yeah.
going home. You don't have a ride. The conversation's flowing. Fuck it. It's Steve Buscemi. You're going to bang him. Don't. Yes, you do.
Are you going to brag about it afterwards?
Not brag, but I don't know that I would conceal it. I mean, this presumes that you
Conceal,
can.
don't
This
feel.
presumes that you're single and fucking people is like
Clearly.
there's no part of this like I wouldn't tell people because I just cheated on my primary
No,
relationship. No. Yeah, I fuck Steve Buscemi, sure. Yeah. I feel more like can I say Steve? I feel more like I would let Steve fuck me. That's how I feel like it works in that one. But I have no problem telling people. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. I would definitely fuck the other. My brain goes 9/11. The other comic, the drug addict, and crazy person. Oh, Pete Davidson. Yeah. He's got to have something in those pants for all the tail he's getting. He's got to be packing.
Oh, all the conversations about his big dick energy.
Oh, I don't care about the energy. I'm certain there's a very big dick there when you look at the women he's shackled up with. But let's keep talking about the undesirables, the uncleans. Come on, there's got to be somebody that you would not, that you would, you still got to consent to do them too. That's where it's tricky because you have to do it and then you just don't want to fess up that you did it. Like I keep thinking of that Amazon series Heroes, like Squid Man. Like that was they went so weird with that Squid Man person, whatever his name was. The Deep. You didn't watch the show.
I didn't watch that. I don't know.
He can breathe underwater, so he has gills, but they're located where his ribs would be. So they did a bunch of sexual stuff, and he ended up feeling violated because people weren't treating his gills right. They're sticking their fingers in it. He's like, that hurts. Like, it was so creepy and weird.
This is from The Boys.
That's what it's called. Did I call it the wrong
thing? The Boys.
Thing?
That I saw. Yes, that I saw.
Thing.
And I was like, wait a minute. That kid from Ex-Gossip Girl was on.
I don't want to have sex with him, though. It's not like I would hide it. I don't want to have sex with him. He's gross looking. He's not for me.
Okay, first of all, when he was on Gossip Girl, he was fire.
I never saw that show, so
I'll give that to you.
I can't help you. So we got to. I was going to say we have to go back to real life. No, we don't. This is the all celebrity, no bang edition.
All celebrity. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think height is a big problem. Oh, you know who I would not want? Well, no, I guess I would like to tell people. No, the acrobat in Ocean's 11. But I feel like that would probably be a pretty good lay.
He's adorable and bendy. I don't know why you wouldn't shout that from the rooftops.
Makes him sound like a child's toy. It's super not
he
sexy.
Sounds like Gumby. Yeah, he sounds like
But he's also
Gumby.
He's a little jerk, though.
I might fuck Gumby and tell no one. Gumby is the way to go.
You're so crazy right now. I'm super. It's like I need to call someone. That you can't go there. You can't do fictional childhood plastic fantasy characters plus sex. You can't add all those in one sentence. It's too many.
I'm Gumby, damn it.
You've ruined the salad. You can't do. You gotta pull it back. Find a celebrity.
All right.
Find a celebrity who's bad, who you don't want people. Find a celebrity. Oh no, but you don't want to fuck him though. I was like Harvey Weinstein, but who wants to fuck him? Nobody.
No,
that's where it's weird because you have
had to and didn't talk about it. This is I want to, right? I want to, but won't talk about it.
I like I like a little bit of.
I like everybody.
I do, but I also, that whole heroin chic. Oh, Jared Leto, probably. I wouldn't want to tell people about that. I don't know that I'd want to have sex with him either. So he's out. That didn't work. What about short people? Danny DeVito. But I'd want to tell everybody if I had sex with Danny DeVito.
Yeah, for me,
it's the joke value of it.
For me, being 5'9", height is an issue. But if Peter Dinklage were nearby, I would roll over him like a.
That's a good
James
time.
Taylor had a song about it.
That's a good time. Game of
like
Thrones.
A steamroller, baby.
Let's go.
Yes,
that works. That checks out. He's like a more compact Sting, right? Where
agree.
The face is sort of like, I don't know, but there's something there, man.
No, his face, I want it all. I want it all.
You got the vibe. Yep.
Dear listener, this is so much fun to do, and I am not going to keep you from it. What we would love to do is have you participate in our no-tell, motel, bangaroo, celebrity bangaroo.
For Thanksgiving.
Tell us for what you're thankful Instead, chuck that. Instead, tell us what celebrity you would love to bang, but don't really feel the need to shout it from the rooftops. I would shout Peter Dinklage from the rooftops. And you can let us know who, you say when, you say how much by writing us at brilliantobservations@gmail.com. Go to Brillobs Squad on Facebook or Brilliant Observations on Facebook. Put up a picture. Tell us a story. Oh my God, if you have banged someone, celebrity adjacent or celebrity, tell us. We will share your story anonymously. Oh, I'm so excited. Or go to Listen Brilliant on Instagram and just, without a single word, put a picture up of the celebrity you would bang, but not tell anyone.
How about like King Charles?
Never.
Yeah, I would.
He's a worthless human being. I mean,
right.
From everything I've read and know to
it would
be true.
Awful, but it's almost like I don't desire it. I guess I'd ruin the game too, because you have to have that. There's no sexual desire.
You have to
there.
want it, right? You have to want it.
I would do it just for the sake of doing it, right? And
yeah, but you would do it for sharing. You're not going to believe who I fucked last night. You would do it to share. Not only do you not want him, you want to share it. So he's the opposite of what.
And it would be horrible. That's the worst. No thanks.
Now you have me thinking about Peter Dinklage.
Well, shouldn't that always be the case?
Ugh.
It's called gratitude, Melissa.
All right. I have gratitude for being able to even have this discussion. I'm gratitude for our latitude, that we are here in a place where this is so much fun to discuss and to share, and cannot wait to hear all of your answers. I feel them coming in as we speak, and I haven't even edited the podcast yet. So
this time around, you guys, we are profoundly grateful for you and this moment and all that we get to share together. Wishing you the best week of your life, and for you to blab about it on all the socials. Come and find us and tell us your tales, because we love to hear back from you.
We'd love to hear your tale.
Ooh.
About who you'd like to get as tail. No, not appropriate. No, still kids in the car. No.
I think we lost the kids when we got to the No Bang Hotel, or maybe it was the Squirts. When I think they maybe left early.
Do. We love you guys. Thanks for turning us on.
That's the
we
truth.
love you.
Love you more. Bye.
Bye.
Exercise, balance, and fucking meditation is not going to bring me goddamn joy.